When your hotel room is your bedroom.
Traced it back to a couple months before I was born. I must have heard my mama tell my daddy that she was tired, cause babies make you tired. But deep down she was just unhappy. I think my father did the best that he could do. He rarely made it to the dinner table. Said he was working late, but he was working late, fogging up the windows of an '89 Sable. I learned to cry quietly. I learned to pray silently inside a house where the devil played. And I hate that it runs in my blood. I hate how easy it comes. I wish I'd learned how to love the same way I learned to lie. Learned to sing to Carole King on the radio. Learned to shoot on a little Red Ryder. I can drive a stick and in a pinch I can pop a bottle with a cigarette lighter. I learned to cry quietly. I learned to pray silently inside a house where the devil played. And I hate that it runs in my blood. I hate how easy it comes. Learn how to love the same way I learned to I learned to say things I don't mean, like stay when I want you to leave. And when you don't come home or call, then I swear I don't mind. I hate that I know how it's done. When a moment just like this one comes, I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie.
The most bold part of that song for me is, well, of course the words are so bold, but the lyrics are so bold. But the ending of that song, she just walks out of that song without another word. The last how many seconds of that song, she doesn't sing. I think that's such a bold move. It ends the song all about the music. It's Ashley McBride. And the song is Learn to Lie. What the hell does this have to do with what you're talking about? All right, let's get off of there. We don't want to be on our old titles, right? So, how do evolutionists, I call them evolutionaries. How do evolutionists explain homosexuality? So this feels like a different topic, and it's not. We're still talking all about the same thing, which is our question, how do we get here? Who is our creator? What the hell's going on? Right? It's a big question of nature versus nurture. And scientists for 70 years minimum, got to be probably 100 years now, have wanted us to believe it's all nature, and that way they can correct God's mistakes. I know, you could almost end it right here, right? Except for we need to talk about Ashley McBride's lyrics. And just really the best part of this song. So we're just going to do a little teeny part of it, which I don't think they're going to hit. It might. We'll see. If I could find it in any decent amount of time. Okay. So, in my mind, the best part of her song is right before she exits for all music, and she gives this wonderful space right here. And you can visually see it, right? So it's her last sequence of words. And I learned how to say things I don't mean. Like stay when I want you to leave. And when you don't come home or call in, I swear it. That should be call in. And when you don't come home or call in, I swear I don't mind. I hate, oh wait, was that the next one? Yeah. I hate that I know how it's done. When a moment just like this one comes, I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. And then so much space and time before the next line and lie. Okay, so let's look at that close up. Don't ask me why I didn't do that instead of my funny face. So much space. Am I going to see the space? I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. Let's see where that is. 246. And lie. So 246 to 254. So 8 seconds she waits before she says and lie. Why do I care about that? Why do I care about that? All right, so I'm going to play that part now without the picture, okay? Why do I care about all that time in between what she said? I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie. Why so much time? I'm going to turn it off and we're going to play it. Just that part. I'm going to start right at the beginning of those lyrics because it just means so much. So, And I learned to say things I don't mean. Okay? And I'm going to get the... Just let me get this. Okay. And I learned to say things I don't mean.
Like stay when I want you to leave. And when you don't come home or call, and I swear I don't mind. I hate that I know how it's done. When a moment just like this one comes, I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie.
I don't know how music can't be healing. I mean, it's just, even that song, I listened to it, was the most replayed song, YouTube said. So I'll play it again another 30, 50 times today. Probably after I just heard it again, it reminded me. So what's the big deal? And I counted the seconds too, and it was 8 seconds between her last stanza and when she says and lie, right? I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, and lie. Have you ever known anyone to do that? Have you ever known anyone to do that? To go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie. To go numb and play dumb. What comes before that? I hate it. I hate that I know how it's done. When a moment just like this one comes, I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. And then 7 seconds and lie. It is so dramatic to me because what she's saying is in all this time, I had Jordan Peterson, here it is, and Sam Harris, consciousness, here it is, and lie. That's it right there. That is consciousness, Sam Harris. Consciousness occurs with a moral choice. I've said it for 25 years. Consciousness occurs. I thought about it. I studied it with John Barg, an unconscious, I believe it was Barg, on the unconscious self. And yeah, consciousness occurs with a moral choice. Our body gets awakened because it is aroused, stressed even, and there's a moral choice. I just go numb and play dumb. Oh, dear gosh. So 3 people came to mind. One of them was my husband, my ex-husband. I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. And it was never about affairs. Although that doesn't mean that I think that he was necessarily, hold on. Uh-oh, crashing. Everything is getting a little crashed. Jeez, come on. But he wasn't the first person I thought of. Oh, you guys don't need to see that. I have to look at my thing, right? Oh, it must be on this one. I have to look at my control panel, which I put up on the same thing as my video. So it's complicated, but I don't have 2 switchers, nor do I have 2 windows. All right. So what's the point here? Well, especially when we're talking about the evolution of homosexuality. I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie. Well, yes. Yeah. All of that sexual indiscretion, right? Some of it's promiscuity, some of it's not. Right, but I'm just talking about bad choices when we're talking about sexuality. Sex. So today, I wanted to introduce some concepts that are related to sexuality, right? Because I just changed the word sexuality to sex. And so there must be something that I distinguished in my head between sexuality and sex in that sentence. Now you could determine it, probably sexuality. I have sexuality, but I'm not having sex right now. I could have sexuality right now, but then I'm not having sex. So it's clear we can distinguish those, right? But when you start getting that, well, what's sexual orientation, right? What's sexual identity? So those are some of the things that I want to talk about. So what does that have to do with lies over here in Ashley McBride? Well, other than the fact that I listened to that song and cried my eyeballs out yesterday about 50 times thinking about the people who looked me in the eye and lied. Like my former best friend. Like men that I've loved. Right? Like family. Looked me in the eye and lied. I mean, and then it's like, I think honestly, to be just straight up honest, I think my dad lied to me to hide the fact that my mother never wanted me, right? I think that was it. And the pain, oh my gosh, I mean, as a little girl, that I remember that I was very, very young, and it was Mother's Day, and I don't think my mom was around a lot. And then she came to live with us. I think that's how it happened. And I didn't think she wanted to live with us because of me. And I think it's because I have an eye thing. as you know, as you all know, right? So he lied to me to protect me from my mother's visceral hate for me. Visceral hate. I remember she just wanted me to be like Cinderella, like I had to do all the work around the house. And she made my dad be the bad guy, which was like, all right, if you want me to live here like a slave, she was like that, then these are the conditions. I get to treat her like a slave. And that's really what it was. But so you think about, well, what were the advantages that the stepsisters got in the story of Cinderella? What were the advantages that the stepsisters got? Well, they got things, and then they got used to things. And I got used to nothing, no things. And right now, I'm pretty used to having a wonderful house filled with the things I've collected, but nothing new. When was the last time I bought an article of clothing that was new? I don't even know. So I've gotten used to things that aren't nice and new. And I've seen the way my sister, at least one of them, I don't know if it's for appearance sake, which it could be. I don't know. Because they've been protecting me, right? So my family's been lying to me. So they look me in the eye and lie. But the verse there says, what the verse says is, I hate how easy it comes. I wish I'd learned how to love the same way I learned to lie. And that to me has to be truth right there, right? That has to be truth. There are so many lies flying around me, and it's not as if I have a monopoly on the truth. If there are so many lies around me, how did I find out the truth? But there is something. You listen to her voice.
Like stay when I want you to leave, and when you don't come home or call, then I swear I don't mind. I hate that I know how it's done. When a moment just like this one comes, I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie.
I hope my voice wasn't too low before, because I turned down the volume when it sort of fade out, and I didn't fade back in, so my voice was probably low earlier as I was talking. I don't know how that works exactly. I hate how easy it comes when a moment just like this one comes. I just go numb and play dumb. It's not, it is in part fear. I thought about my son. My younger son used to lie a lot. It was the reason why he got spanked only twice, but it was for lying. I remember now. Why did he get spanked? What he would have done? It was for lying. He lied tremendously. But his lie was like this, right? It was so reactionary. So I was listening to that song and thinking about that, because the first person to come to mind was family, right? A particular family member was the first person to come to mind, but certainly not the only one. And the second person to come to mind was somebody that I loved very much, and recently came into contact with again. And that exactly, it's the calculated, I hate how I know how it's done when a moment just like this one comes. I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. And all the time passes when I could make another choice. And then I lie. I have seen that face that I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie. Whew. But there are consequences, right? There are consequences. I was thinking of those names, father of the lie, and that person who does that. The person who does that. I've been watching Killing Eve and the assassin in there, Oksana Villanelle. When my niece told me she was Villanelle and she started talking the accent and she looks just like Villanelle. So again, I don't know who these actors and actresses are, but some of them seem to be in my family. And they also seem to be playing real life roles. So who was stabbed with the pitchfork? Because there are real life roles. And Lori, are you my mom's sister? Are you my mom's younger sister? What are you, Lori? Because you are filled with the same kind of hate that my mom had. You're just relentless with it. You're relentless with it. And you want something. And the fact that my niece told me what was going on, and Billy, you turned those firecrackers right to her. Who are you people? Who are you people? And I saw you with Ozempic Abby, who couldn't put a burger in her mouth if her life depended on it. And why would she? With that body, she's looking to end it. So, start thinking about these names, right? And even how I've thrown around the word evil a lot more. Is that evil? Oh, the father of a lie. I knew my husband was keeping a lie from me. Our whole marriage was for my safety. But I get it. And then the safety of my family, the burden. I mean, you can feel it, the burden. That was the burden he carried all the time. And he wasn't alone. He had a best friend. Right, kids? Where's that best friend? Where's Dad's best friend? Where's Dad's best friend? Tom Sturio. He told me. So many years ago. Then sealed. How does he do that? And then he hates how he knows how it's done when a moment just like this one comes. I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. Oh, how many times I saw him do it. In family. And then the family who couldn't do it. They couldn't hate themselves like that. I hate how I know how it's done when a moment just like this one comes. I must have played it 50 times yesterday. And it made me cry so much. And that's not rumination. It was just a figuring out who that person is and how close that person is to me. Those people are to me. And the damage, the weight. And when I say you don't support me because you didn't in the way I needed, which was with family, I get that there were reasons, but it wasn't support in the way that I needed because it wasn't family. Instead, family abandoned me. When a moment just like this one comes, I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye. And 7 seconds will go by, and I will not use that to make any other choice other than to lie. And I was coming to the understanding of that kind of burden. That kind of burden. To see yourself as Lucifer himself, because you're lying about the most important things to the people who are most important to you. I have the luxury of not understanding that burden because I just wouldn't. That's the reason why I'm in this situation right now. I can't keep my mouth shut. I told you when I was little, given the chance to say something or not, I was always the person to say something. So to work for the government and be a big mouth, it just doesn't work. To be spewing all of the knowledge that I have. It just can't work in government, right? Where we keep top secrets. So I was never a person. I hate how easy it's done when a moment just like this one comes. Not me. Doesn't come easy. Never could come easy. So I never did it. I'm not saying I haven't lied before. I've always said out loud the exceptions of when I'll lie. But the damage right there that we see in those words, right? Excuse me. That's the time spent between not saying it or between no words. And the ones right before it, too. I hate how easy it comes. I wish I'd learned how to love the same way I learned to lie. And I learned to say things I don't mean. This is the one that's like my sister. And I learned to say things I don't mean. Like stay when I want you to leave. And when you don't come home or call in, I swear I don't mind. I hate that I know how it's done. When a moment just like this one comes.
This one comes, I just go numb and play dumb and look you in the eye and lie.
Oh. So, I just cannot get over that song. I can't get over the song. And there was so much of this overlap and so many ways with this slide on my 4 days off. One of them being, I remember my husband got my birth certificate because I didn't have a birth certificate in order to go wherever we were going. So I needed, and whatever documents and stuff like that. And they said what I had was not, it was a hospital document, but it was not an official birth certificate. So I didn't have my birth certificate. So he went and looked into it. I think it was likely to go to Jamaica for our honeymoon. So he looked into it, getting all the marriage license and everything like that. And in the process, I'm almost sure that it came back with my name being Morning Star. Different date, all kinds of different information that who knows? I don't know. I said, okay, there was one piece of information that was semi-familiar. Maybe it was my dad's name. I don't know. Something semi-familiar, and the rest of it, none of it was familiar. But I was like, you need to find this out, because I was smart enough to know that having a name on my birth certificate that said Morning Star wasn't good for me. I knew that. I knew that from scripture, right? So, who is saint in there? One of his names is Day Star. I didn't put it on there. I didn't put it on there because I remembered. I remembered Morning Star. And how could that be Lucifer's name? How could he be so beautiful, like music, like a symphony was his beauty and light, and called a roaring lion, and so was Jesus, and called Morning Star, and so was Jesus. Something to that effect. The lights. More than that. So we know, in mythological kinds of terms, the fall of Satan, right? It's biblical, but it's not really biblical, because I find references to the fall of Satan. What is that? Satan, right? I find references to it, but I don't know that story, but I do know the story. How did I get to know the story, right? Well, my mom told us, but that was another thing too. I started to tell you, I remember it was Mother's Day. And I saved up my money to buy my mom a Mother's Day present, and then my dad took us out shopping. And she needed... Okay, reconnection there. So it was Mother's Day, and it was like, it had a piece of tape on it, like it was from a yard sale. It said $3. And I had like $2 and something, and I wanted to get that for her because she said she needed a thing for her rollers. And I was so excited. I wanted her to open up my present first, and she didn't want it. She literally said she didn't want it. She asked for it. She needed it. She didn't have anything to put her rollers in. And she said she didn't want it. And I was really little. So you could imagine my mom and the feelings my mom had just being rejected. But I don't know. Her sister could have been my mother. Her sister Flo could have been my mom. I don't know. Right? She had a sister, Pat. She wasn't very nice at all. At all. She even had evil faces and pictures. But is she evil? I know how media portrays me. I could see the Catholic Church taking the word and perverting it so that people were thrown off course. I don't know, something, right? We are moving into this lie of science about homosexuality. So I liked our start. I wanted the start to be something where you got the feeling that you could be this person. Yuck. You could be the person who goes numb and plays dumb and looks you in the eye, because there's a lot of those people out there, and then lie, right? You could be Morning Star. You could be Lucy. I don't know. All I think is that, my sister, I literally said, my ways aren't those ways anymore. But it was like, you had to have a saint's name. Well, first of all, how do you know saints' names are the ones in the book of life? Because I think that they're kind of awful people. And I didn't. And now I find a lot of stock in names, right? A lot of stock in names. Did I take enough stock? But I also believe that there is a divine rod, a divining rod, that leads us in the direction of how we're supposed to name our children, just like Rachel did, right? And Leah did. So, look it up. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. I am going to hightail it on out of here, but we're staying on this topic. I'll be back for more of our book, Heidi, the classic story. You know what I love about this story? The ups and downs they're not so high and low, right? They're just not, it's not this major roller coaster where Heidi's dying and then Claire is dying and everyone's dying. It's not this, even though she was sickly, it's not this major roller coaster. It's just a really good story so far. So I'm only about halfway through with the book. Oh no, I'm not. I'm about 3/4 of the way through with the book. So I don't know. I hope that there's not some devastating reason that they have to turn to trauma to entice us. It's a great story. So join me here in about 15 in our reading room. This is Dr. Annette Feravich, and look at how we go to the depths of hell to try and get you healthier in your mind, in your body, and right now, especially this kind of spirit. Thanks for joining me. Turn that. Yeah, we're good.